Hey everybody, it's Shelley Tonkin Smith. I am the Learning in Depth co-mentor, and this week we are doing something really fun in Learning in Depth. We're taking our topics and we are creating a superhero. Now, before this, we have explored heroes in our topics, in our field. So it could have been like researchers who are really like top of the field or heads of industry. But now what we're doing is we're taking those real life heroes and we're making a completely fictional superhero who lives in the land of our topics. So what superpowers would a superhero have in that world of your topics? So you're going to have to get creative here. You can be inspired by old superheroes, existing superheroes, the common ones that we know, but also go look deeper for the more uncommon and more obscure type of superheroes as well. So doing this is a very Egan kind of approach to find the heroic qualities within a topic, because in that way we are able to really employ our imaginations and to emotionally connect with a topic to find the story. And of course, when we're finding a story, every good story needs a hero, right? And why not? Let's, for this week, make it a superhero and design what that superhero would be like, what their superpowers would be, and most importantly for this particular video, making a cartoon of them, an actual design. And what's very cool is that we now have AI image generators to help us do that. So we're going to be having a little fun with creating the superhero's costume. So let's head off here to ChatGPT, and I do have this sort of custom created GPT that I've created for myself, and it should be pretty similar if you are just using standard ChatGPT. But what I asked it first is, I want to create a superhero character. Can you give me a list of general character elements that a superhero typically has? And so it listed these character elements and a description of each of those character elements. So we are going to be sharing those with you in our posts, and you'll be able to use this as a prompt and now to say, my topic is your topic, and this is what I've done is I'd like to base my superhero loosely on Gudrid Far Traveller. Now, Gudrid Far Traveller was in the sort of Viking era, in the Norse kind of, she became quite mythological, but she was a real person who was one of the first people to establish connections and explore North America from Scandinavia. So I asked it, could you help me brainstorm each of these character elements accordingly? So it knows I'm referring to that table over there, and they're creating this superhero based on Gudrid Far Traveller. And this is where you can use your heroes research and see, is there a hero that you could base your superhero on? You don't have to, but there we go. And so then it kind of goes through each of those character elements and it comes up with a hero called Wayfarer, which I quite like because it's almost like it's got this showing the way, but then Farer, it's obviously, she's wayfaring, but it's also got this homophone thing of fair, being fair, and justice, and being just. And there's her alter ego is Ingrid Leif's daughter, is the daughter, the feminine version of the father's surname. So all very cool things, and they've got some ideas for the costume over there. The nemesis is the cartographer, is a villain who seeks to erase uncharted lands from existence to maintain control over knowledge and power. And you can go and read all of that. If you don't like, say, the catchphrase, you can say, please, can we rewrite the catchphrase and make it something more related to the seas, or ask it to improve these particular character elements. But you see there, it's put together what I think is a pretty cool kind of superhero for me. Okay, so you could flesh out those ideas, or what we're going to do, I wish I could get rid of these because but we will press on. Of course, it said, do you want to flesh out these character elements further, or do you want to design her costume. So of course I'm ready. Let's design her costume. So I said, help me design her costume. And then it gave me a description worthy of probably a Hollywood costume designer's brief. Quite a detailed brief here of the base layers, the key features. It's got this cape that's inspired by a sail. There's the helmet and the headpiece, all the utility details. Look, she's got the ocean's map, and then Rune, her AI companion, which I thought was really cool, of bringing like the ancient runes with the AI modern stuff. Then her boots are kind of a feature. There's different accessories that she's got with Gudrid's initials. So there's like this link to Gudrid. I think it did a really great job. Also, I noticed here they mention the world tree, and there we go. The world tree. It's Yggdrasil. And I was like, oh, what is that? So I asked ChatGPT a little bit later on, what is Yggdrasil? And it gave me the whole explanation. So as it's coming up with these explanations or these descriptions for the costume, by all means, please go down the rabbit trails that you feel curious to go down. Okay, even goes to lighting effects. Okay, would you like an illustration of this design or more details? Of course, I want you to generate an image of this design. So this, if you've got the paid ChatGPT, it uses DALL-E to generate these images, and you can just say create an image of this design. If you don't have the paid for version of ChatGPT, then I've got another alternative that you can look at using, or find an image generator. There are quite a few of them around at the moment. But check what it did. I thought this was pretty cool, and designed this kind of superhero costume, but of course that looks quite masculine. So I said, yes, that's great, but could you make it more feminine? And there we go. It's a more feminine version. It's still got the cool helmet. Sorry about all my little pop-ups popping up, but let me just go like that, and then we can kind of see it on its own. So that's quite cool. So I like what it did here, because it created a bit of a mood board, and I think that was because it gave me such a detailed brief of the costume. So it's got this compass, and the tree there I think is there, or maybe it's actually coming out here, and all of these details. So you can actually now go and check if you're happy with those details, and you can then ask it if you would like, I want to change the belt, or I want it in a different kind of style, or I want to change the boots, etc. You can do that. What I did at this point is I asked it to give me a shorter costume brief that I could give to another AI image generator. So I then went across to Krea. So that's Krea.ai. And this seems to be free to use. I don't know if there's probably will be limitations on how many iterations and how many prompts you can give it. So you can sign up. I signed up using my Google accounts, or you can, I think, sign up just, with an email address. And so this is something that if you don't have DALL-E, you could use. And I found this quite fun. So I took this description that it gave me here in ChatGPT, which you'd be able to get on the free version. And I came across here it's called Flux is the model that Krea uses. And there we go. That was the first set of images that it gave me of Wayfarer. I thought those looked very cool. They look quite realistic, and what I thought this one was quite cool because it kind of gave the whole costume in its glory. And so I took this one, and then I said vary. Okay, so you can take, if you like the idea of one, but then you want some different ideas, that you can vary those different images. I varied that one, and then I got this set of images, and you can also go and click on them to go and sort of see, like, okay, let's see the detail in these different costumes. I think there might be the runes there, the Nordic symbols, and there's the compass and some kind of rose thing there, or maybe that's the Yggdrasil, the tree. Let me not go back there. That was nearly okay, but maybe I wanted more like leathery looking boots or whatever. So, but then I thought we maybe want to make this a little more cartoonish. Those look quite realistic. And so what I did is I just added the to my, so I just came in, initially I copied and pasted the description here. Then I said, please make it in the image of a 70s cartoon style or a 70s comic style. And you don't see that there because then I deleted it. So this was the 70s cartoon style. So you can see there it does look a little more illustrated, but yet not. I would say this one probably looks the most illustrated as opposed to the more realistic looking ones. That looks quite AI, I would say. So then I changed it to please make the image in a cartoon style. And that's when, I'm sure you could say make it in a manga style if you wanted to. And that's when I got these more cartoon looking ones like this one. And I also quite like this one because it gave me that mood board kind of vibe that's DALL-E gave me of highlighting the boots, highlighting, the different elements of her costume. And then, you can just like create more of a learning experience with the whole thing. So that is Krea. And then what I did is I went back to ChatGPT. I first of all asked it what Yggdrasil was and went down that rabbit trail for myself, which was very interesting. So feel free to learn and to dig deeper on some of these ideas that come up for you. And now I thought, we've done the hero. Now we need to create the villain. So we had the cartographer was Wayfarer's nemesis, and so it used the cartographer as this villain, but still based on our real life hero Gudrid. And so they made this idea that she was a rival descendant of Gudrid, and her idea is order through knowledge and control through erasure. And she's going to erase all knowledge, and she opposes this exploration as a means of freedom. So you can look at binary opposites are coming up here. There's so much that comes through in the story that you're creating here. For example, there is no freedom in the Uncharted. I'm like, maybe we can strengthen that up. So you could go and strengthen the catchphrase. Like, can you give me 5 other options for the catchphrase, But of course, I wanted to skip to designing the cartographer's costume. So again, it gave me this real, I said, could you help me design her costume? So it gave me this long explanation of her costume, this big brief over there. And then please generate an image. Again, it generated it to look more masculine. But I was liking this torn map and all this imagery here. I like these red dangerous sort of points on a map, but it's got this evil idea, and the compass kind of with all the ancient runes on it. I thought it was looking cool, but I asked it again I was also just asking it to list out the character elements for you so that you can use that. But then I asked it to make it more feminine, and that's what it came up with, which I really love the addition of what looks like the Aurora Borealis in her cape or in her skirt there. So she looks like a really good villain to me and speaks to these villainous qualities as opposed to the heroic qualities that we were talking about. And then now I said, can you design the outfit for Wayfarer's alter ego Ingrid Leifsdottir? And it just went straight to the picture, which is cool. I mean, if you want to, you could get that brief and say, can you help me design a costume for Ingrid? It just for some reason went straight to the costume, which looks very cool. I think it's kind of both oceanic and yes, got this explorer, I don't know, is it Indiana Jones kind of vibe to it? Or is it even a bit of Lara Croft? Because she is an archaeologist. I think she is an archaeologist and a historian and a marine archaeologist, tracing the paths of ancient explorers. So there's all of her kind of paraphernalia, all her kits and all the supporting things, her tools that she needs. Okay, cool. And then I was asking, how do you pronounce Yggdrasil? Yggdrasil. There we are. Okay, so have fun creating your superhero. I feel like I should end off with Wayfarer's catchphrase. So allow me to just scroll up to the top here and to say to you, The unknown exists to be understood, not conquered. So go and understand the unknown, and every horizon hides a truth. So go and uncover the truths and also the extremes and the super heroic around your topic. My kids are gonna cringe if they hear me saying things like that. Or go and enjoy. We'll look forward to seeing your responses to this challenge.